I came from the corporate world into the not-for-profit sector and recognised that there's a significant difference in terms of approach and style. Also, I recognised that my knowledge of the not-for-profit sector is not strong. And so the idea of governance for social impact was something that really piqued my interest, because I reflected on it and thought, goodness, I'd seen my role as a board director to help an organisation to run well, to have good structures, to have good systems, to make sure that risk was managed, to make sure that decisions were robust, etc. But what I hadn't fully considered was my role as a director and how that contributed to actually achieving the outcomes. It was also an opportunity for me to meet other directors from not-for-profit organisations and to understand their working styles and to learn from them as well. It was the discussion around attribution versus contribution. So it was saying, well, can we put our pride aside and our passion aside and contribute to an outcome without having it attributed to us? Is that enough? But I thought it was a really interesting nuance to tease out, that actually if we are genuinely motivated by social outcomes and wanting to achieve the best impact for the people who we're serving, then actually contribution should be fine. And if it's not, then we really need to look at ourselves, not at the project. And so that was very good to shape my thinking and to help my perspective to move. Another aspect that I found really interesting and freeing was the idea of mission creep. And this was something that, again, tying into my previous ideas that more is better, bigger is better, the more you do, the more we're serving the community, why wouldn't you do more? But actually taking your eye off your focus, allowing your resources to be diluted, and getting into areas that actually don't fit with your core mission. That concept I thought was fantastic, because what it does is it really causes the board, the executive, the whole organisation to reflect deeply on why we're doing what we're doing, what it looks like in practice to live our mission, but also what it doesn't look like. One of the things that changed for me a lot was that perspective around problem solving. And so how, by wanting to contribute with an answer, I reflected that mindset was actually holding back the entire group from being able to contribute, but also for the outcome of that conversation to be more meaningful. And so the structure that we discussed at the course around problem solving. Board directors tend to be quite senior in their organisations and therefore are used to being the people with the answers. Usually people will say an answer and everyone will go, well, yes, that sounds about right. And then the conversation moves on. But what we really spent a lot of time teasing out in the course was that discipline of staying in the problem. And so asking, first of all, clarifying questions that often would have a yes or no answer to understand it more fully, and then having the analytical side of things as well. Then it's only at that point that the discussion moves on to what the board feels the problem is, and therefore some potential solutions.